Rárá má gbé kúrò, ọmọ yìí má gbé kúrò, mo ní o má gbé kúrò, máa di a má gbé kúrò jọ̀jọ̀ gbọ́. Amúlùdùn FM, òun mo fẹ́ gbọ́. Bóyá nínú ilé ni o, tàbí níbi iṣẹ́ rẹ ni àwẹ̀. Amúlùdùn FM, òun mo fẹ́ gbọ́. Moniya láwa 99.1. Amúlùdùn FM, òun mo fẹ́ gbọ́. Ṣé wípé.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on the network service of Radio Nigeria. I am Jeremiah Jime. The headlines. Federal government constitutes committee to analyze impact of new U.S. tariffs. Over 15,000 children die of HIV-related ailments in 2 years.
The ongoing challenges faced by these children emphasize the urgent need for sustained action to improve prevention strategy, enhance diagnosis, and expand access to treatment.
NUJ president wants government to prioritize welfare of journalists.
Journalistic profession is a very poor profession, and this innovation is about insurance for journalists across the country. By the time journalists are being given opportunity to subscribe to any form of insurance, it's going to go a long way.
Super Eagles former head coach Christian Chukwu is dead. The commentary is on the effects of incessant vacations on the educational system. You can follow us on Instagram and X at Radio Nigeria HQ and on Facebook at facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network. Now the news in detail. The federal government has set up a subcommittee to evaluate the potential economic impact of the recent trade tariff by the United States government. A statement by the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Ministry of Finance, Mohammed Manga, said the decision came after a meeting of the Economic Management Team, EMT, chaired by Mr. Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. The statement explains that while Nigeria's main export, crude oil, is not directly targeted by the new U.S. tariffs, these policy changes have happened at the same time as falling international oil prices, which raises concerns about possible pressure on Nigeria's revenue and budget. On April 2, U.S. President Donald Trump announced sweeping global tariffs on all imports into the country, including Nigeria. Manga explained that the Economic Management Team held a meeting earlier this week with important ministries and agencies to examine how these new trade policies might affect Nigeria's economy and finances. The Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, says as of January 1st, 2025, the nation's crude oil stood at 31.44 barrels, while the condensate reserves is at 5.84 billion barrels, amounting to a total of 37.28 billion barrels. A statement by the chief executive of the commission, Benga Komolafe, also reveals that the associated gas and non-associated gas reserves stand at 101.3 trillion cubic feet and 109.51 trillion cubic feet. This is resulting in total gas reserves of 210.54 trillion cubic feet. The reserves life index is 64 years and 93 years for oil and gas, respectively.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
It's Entertainment Waves on the network service of Radio Nigeria, a program that talks about everything and anything entertainment, from the latest entertainment gist to the lounge with our guests.
So that's why I went into music, to make sure that at least everything is fine, and to make people laugh, smile, and give them some rhythm and some vibe.
Not forgetting our icon of the week.
Before venturing into acting, he held positions at various media organizations, including Radio Nigeria Lagos, Voice of Nigeria, NTA Ilorin, and others.
And more gist and good music to spice up your day. Every Sunday at 4:30 in the evening, Entertainment Waves comes up to make you chill and unwind and prepare you for the week ahead. Don't miss it.
We health, now we end the day. All of us get work to do on top am. Time don't reach make we for sabi, can't take care from the beginning. Shey you sabi say HIV, AIDS, syphilis and hepatitis na something we fit to dodge from, treat and even no be death sentence again sef. Knowledge na power. You fit to live correct better life wey go make sense, treat and get help when you need am. They fit to manage HIV with treatment, syphilis own na antibiotics, and for hepatitis na vaccine we go take knack am to fit escape from am. Regular testing na key for all of us to fit dey safe. Together, we go fit stop the spread of HIV, AIDS, syphilis and hepatitis. Always dey go for testing to sabi your status and stay safe. Prevention, treatment na your hand e dey. Prevention na key. Together, we go fit end this pain. Follow your doctor relate. Run your test today. HIV, AIDS no be death sentence o. Enter with public health center wey near you pass today. This message na from the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Glad to know you're still there. Our former military administrator of Plateau State, Rear Admiral Beatrice Atukum, has condemned the recent killings in Boko's local government area of Plateau State and called on the federal government to ensure that those involved were arrested no matter how highly placed. Speaking with journalists in Jos, Rear Admiral Atukum said some sections of the community have been making incriminating statements and called for a thorough investigation on their source of weapons, which he described as sophisticated. Describing the attacks as unprovoked, the retired naval officer said they should be labeled as terrorists and appreciated the efforts of security personnel to address the issue, but stressed that there was room for improvement. Rear Admiral Tukum expressed worry over the attacks on farmers, which could lead to food scarcity in the country. He described the action of the attackers as land grabbing and advised the people to be law-abiding, form themselves into vigilantes and defend themselves. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says it is unacceptable to lose over 15,000 children in Nigeria within the ages of 0 to 14 years to HIV-related ailments in the past 2 years. Senator Oluremi stated this at a flag-off of the Organization of Africa First Ladies for Development Free to Shine campaign in the Northeast Zone hosted by Taraba State Government. Akanta Hana has details.
Relying on data released by Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in 2024, the First Lady said there were over 100,000 children and nearly 2 million adults living with HIV in the country. Senator Oluremi Tinubu also expressed concern that Nigeria has the highest burden of HIV and AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa due to its large population, adding that the burden is particularly acute among children, youth, and women.
The ongoing challenges faced by these children emphasize the urgent need for sustained action to improve prevention strategy, enhance diagnosis, and expand access to treatment.
The First Lady said the Free to Shine campaign was launched to complement the efforts of the federal government in eliminating HIV and AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis among children and women of reproductive age by 2030. She also disclosed that the goal of the Free to Shine campaign was to raise awareness, renew commitment, and take collective action against these diseases. Senator Tinubu stressed the importance of regular medical checkups and urged young people to live responsibly. Taraba State Governor Dr. Abu Kefas applauded the First Lady for the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention that is focused on eradicating life-threatening diseases.
This moment is more than ceremonial. It is deeply meaningful to all of us. It affirms the value of those who serve our mothers and children, and it reflects a national commitment to care and compassion.
He assured her that every intervention by the federal government in the state will be used for the targeted population. Also speaking, wife of the Taraba State Governor, Agin Kefas, said the visit of Senator Oluremi underscores her commitment to national development.
This initiative perfectly aligns with your enduring commitment to uplift life, especially in our dear state.
In an address, Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Ali Pati, disclosed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is deeply concerned about the country's health burdens and has approved 200 billion naira purchase test kits and essential drugs so that the 1.9 million Nigerians living with HIV and AIDS can be treated. In Jalingo, Akantahana, Radio Nigeria.
The Director General of the National Agricultural Seed Council, Mr. Fatuhu Muhammad, has pledged to transform Nigeria's agricultural seed sector into a driver of the nation's food security and economic growth. Mr. Muhammad made the pledge in Abuja at the handover ceremony to mark the end of the tenure of the outgoing Acting Director General, Dr. Ishaq Khalid. In his inaugural address, Mr. Muhammad expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for the appointment, describing it as a vital national assignment tied to the administration's renewed hope agenda. He also commended the outgoing leadership and staff of the council for laying a foundation upon which he intends to build.
President Bola's vision for food security, economy, diversification, and sustainable development is clear. Nigeria must change itself, unlock the full potential of its agri-business sector. Seeds are the first link in agricultural value chain. Without quality seeds, there can be no thriving farmers. Without thriving farmers, there can be no food security.
The outgoing Director General, Dr. Ishaq Khalid, detailed the achievements of the Council during his tenure and also urged the incoming leadership to prioritize investments in modern infrastructure and climate-resilient system.
Significant projects were executed during this period, including nationwide empowerment programs targeting women youth, establishment of seed laboratories, procurement of seed processing equipment, and digital traceability solutions. This effort aims to address counterfeit seeds, enhance transparency, and boost farmers' confidence.
The event was attended by officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, members of the governing board, including the newly appointed board chairman of the National Agricultural Seed Council, Mr. Austin Agada, development partners, and other stakeholders. The Bureau for Public Procurement, BPP, wants ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to commence the 2026 procurement plans in the last quarter of this year. The Director General of BPP, Mr. Adebowale Adedokun, who stated this in Abuja at an engagement forum with procurement officers at management cadre, said the aim was to propel development across all sectors of the economy. Abubakar Bestu has details.
Procurement by ministries, departments, and agencies of government over the years had been alleged to be overwhelmed by corruption and ethical practices, slowing down the pace of development. The Director General of BPP, Mr. Adebowale Adedokun, having realized this and the dangers posed to the advancement of the country, engaged the officers concerned to educate them on the new direction of the Bureau. The engagement was certainly not a tea party, as the Director General instead informed them of the consequences for continuous violation of the procurement process.
If procurement plans are done and done incorrectly, I will hold you accountable. That should be very clear. If a project is inflated, I will hold you accountable. If specifications are misdrafted by a user department and you accept, we will hold you accountable.
Mr. Adedokun emphasized that the new approach to carrying out procurement was not to withhold anyone but to uphold trust and address the decay that has slowed down development for decades. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Wasson-Jack, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Common Services Office, Dr. Kalbo Usman, called for uprightness by procurement officers to justify government spending in making life better for the citizens.
Your decisions directly influence the integrity, transparency, and efficiency of public spending, and by extension, the credibility of governance system.
The chairman, Court of Conduct Bureau, Dr. Abdullahi Bello, said as the pioneer anti-corruption agency in the country, pledged the support of the tribunal in addressing corruption in procurement.
Anybody that is corrupt is doing it to benefit. It's either you go and buy assets, you spend it on expensive livelihoods and other things. So we are going to come and ask you, how did you get that money? The procurement officer, you have mansions, you travel abroad, Dubai, 2 years.
The engagement is to continue with other officers of NDAs also involved in the procurement process. In Abuja, Abubakar Bestu, Radio Nigeria.
The president of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Mr. Al-Hassan Yahya, has called on the government and private media houses to prioritize the welfare of journalists to achieve accurate reportage. Mr. Al-Hassan Yahya made the call in Abuja when he featured on Radio Link, a Radio Nigeria audience participatory program. The NUJ president also advocated insurance cover for journalists due to the hazards involved in the profession.
Journalistic profession is a very poor profession, and this innovation is about insurance for journalists across the country. By the time journalists are being given opportunity to subscribe to any form of insurance, it's going to go a long way in reducing what we call out-of-pocket expenses, and above all, it's also going to go a long way in achieving 3 objectives in line with the federal government innovations and in line with the federal government agenda.
Mr. Hassan Yahya emphasized the determination of the union to engage sister agencies in the fight against corruption.
We condemn in totality arresting or languishing journalists in prison without trial, and at the same time believe no journalist that is above the law. But let's also know that these issues of social media is a global issue. It is issues of concern globally, and I believe Nigeria is one country that is dealing with such issues. And for us in Nigeria, we need to do the needful in that regard.
The NUJ president also called for collaboration between journalists and security agencies while condemning the arrest and detention of journalists, especially those on the online media nationwide. Callers on politics nationwide have advocated for dedicated budgetary allocations for the proposed Nigeria Forest Security Services to bolster existing efforts by security agencies in safeguarding the nation's forests. Mr. Jude Ubaja from Imo State and Abubakar Musa from Bida, Niger State, also emphasized the need for communities to actively share intelligence with security operatives to enhance the fight against insecurity.
I therefore enjoin the National Assembly to give the forest guards of Nigeria the necessary legal package they deserve, and for Mr. President to make special budgetary position for them to enable her to train their men in intelligence gathering, provide arms and ammunition to actually match those of the firepower of other terrorist groups and criminally minded Nigerians.
I hope society will collaborate with the government because we have our roles to play to ensure security in the country. I think for patriotism.
In a similar vein, Ibrahim Orto from Lafayette in Kwara State and Danjuma Derideri from Bida, Niger State, stressed the importance of close collaboration between the proposed forest guards and local communities to improve surveillance and response.
Because these people, they have natural power. Forest guards, they should work hand in hand in collaboration with military men and policemen.
They have to join hands with the vigilante so that they will do more. Because issue of insecurity every day in Nigeria is very challenging. Government has to empower those of their graduates so that security will be enough.
Responding to the contributions, the Commandant General of the Nigeria Forest Security Services, Dr. Wole Osatimehin, assured listeners that the outfit is well structured and committed to maintaining strong synergy with other security agencies to ensure the safety of Nigeria's forests. Dr. Osatimehin, said no officer embarks on any operation without due approval by the leadership of the Nigeria Forest Security Service, NFSS.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Security operatives in Anambra State have unanimously set up a formidable force against crimes, codenamed Operation Udogaji, with zero tolerance to kidnapping and other violent crimes in the state. The timing of this operation, coinciding with the Easter season celebration, underscores the security forces' dedication to maintaining peace and security during the festive period and beyond. The initiative aims to prevent all violent and related crimes, especially kidnapping, by ensuring a safer environment for residents and visitors during the Easter period and beyond. The police public relations officer in the state, Mr. Tochukwu Ikenga, in a statement, said the operations will focus on community engagement, working closely with the members of the public to gather intelligence and prevent crimes, as well as fostering trust and cooperation between law enforcement agencies and the community. He explained that it would also serve as a community-based and community-driven proactive policing strategy to tackle security challenges in the state. And for sports, our head of sports, Chinedu Hamnusi, is right here in the studio to tell us a little about the life and times of former Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu, who just died. Chinedu.
Yeah, we don't have the details, but I will tell you straight ahead that this death ranks perhaps just like equal or probably the same level with that of Stephen Keshi, considering who Chairman Christian Chukwu was. Christian Chukwu Okoro, born 4th January 1951, meaning he's about 74 years now. He's been a little bit challenged of recent. We knew of when the billionaire Otedola came in to rescue him, and that nobody wanted to say what the issues were, but eventually Radio Nigeria got to understand it was a case of prostate cancer. For about 10 years now, he was able to battle that, and I think if the information we have is all correct, I think it is because somebody like a mathematical, they were peers. They played for the national team almost at the same time, posting that, and that is then say that death has had one again over the Nigerian football fraternity is thrown into mourning. He's arguably one of the best Nigeria has as a former footballer and as a coach, a defender by excellence in his playing days. Chukwu was christened chairman by former President Shehu Usman Aliyu Shagari in 1980 when he captained the Green Eagles to Nigeria's first ever win in the Africa Cup of Nations.
From the President, well done. You've done a good job, lad. And that's the gold medal. On to, and Chukwu takes the chance for the President. Yes, Diamond, who is steadfast in his job. He will stand before kings and not before mean men.
Christian was said to have been discouraged by his parents while playing football in his very young age. He was even forced to go and hawk. It was later when we heard that he started playing for the National Grammar School, Nike, that and Highlanders FC, owned by Federal Ministry of Finance then. The parents started taking football seriously. Educationally, he didn't have the very early education, but he attended Christ Church Primary School, Uwan Enugu, National School, Secondary School, Nike Grammar School, and joined the East Central Academic, as where he also won the National Cup. And as a player, as we did tell you earlier on, he played for the national team and captained Super Eagles between then Green Eagles between 1974 and 1980. Christian Chukwu also had runner-up trophies for the Green Eagles in 1976 and 1978. He was the first Nigerian captain to lift the cup, as we did say. In 1998, he was appointed coach of the Harambee Stars of Kenya. That tells you how ambitious and how organized that man was. And then from 2003 to 2005, he coached Nigeria leading the Super Eagles alongside Clemens Westerhoff to win the Africa Cup of Nations for the second time. Let me put it here and say Chukwu was a one-man club. He played all his career, all his time for Rangers International Football Club of Enugu, and I wonder how the coast city will be now.
Well, we'll find out later. At the moment, we want to thank you so much for that brief biography of the life and times of the late Christian Chukwu. Thank you so much, Chinedu Ahanusi. The commentary is on the effects of incessant vacations on the education system. It is written by Jiraji Tokuma, a visually impaired corps member.
A tertiary calendar is a well-defined and programmed segment of academic work built to be achieved in an interval of time. It is usually designed to cover a complete number of academic activities on campus, beginning with registrations, class lectures, academic assessments, and examinations. It is designed to recognize both national and international public holidays, as well as the official school vacation. In most tertiary institutions today, academic sessions are partitioned into two periodic segments known as semesters, with each of the semester running for 3 or 4 months and even more in some institutions. It is undoubtable to acknowledge that vacations are very important moments of every educational institute, owing to the fact that it gives teachers and students a break after a long time of school activities by offering them physical and psychological relaxation needed for the task ahead. Regardless, tertiary institutions in the country have over the years experienced a handful of unhealthy academic vacation orchestrated by factors such as outbreak of communicable diseases and most times industrial actions involving the staff. Following this course, it can be observed that most of these unhealthy vacations can be avoidable owing to the fact that they carry notable signs and possible solutions before, during, and after they occur. This unhealthy vacation has rendered many Nigerian students restless and helpless, especially when they are not properly handled. There is no doubt that these unhealthy vacations cause delay both in the lives of students and the administrative nature of the school. This academic delay can be very detrimental both in their financial, age, and occupational plans, which can cause them long-time damage if not well managed. Students, upon resumption, normally suffer memory loss and even confusion due to the long breaks. Most times, incessant strikes lead to unimaginable rush in school calendars just to meet up with the outlined programs upon resumption. Also, high chances of students' engagement in social vices like cultism, gangsterism, immorality, and recently online fraud can be traceable to this menace. Unhealthy school vacations is of course a wind that blows no student or any parent any good. The causes of unhealthy tertiary school vacations, if genuinely treated, will not just curtail this ugly trend, but will also address the damages caused in the lives of students and proffer lasting solutions. In this regard, it is important to acknowledge the unwavering effort and support of the present administration, who had right from the beginning sounded a capital no to these unhealthy school vacations in the country. The recent increment in the